So much quieter outside.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
So much quieter outside.
So hard to pick the perfect gift. So hard to pick the perfect gift.
So much quieter outside.
So hard to pick the perfect gift.
So much quieter.
I've already put in my order. anyone doing maintenance on this, statue?
Halo, iya, lupa. Terusan deh tadi kok gue diem aja, gimana? Ternyata belum gue nyalain. Jadi tadi gue ngomong cuman ngomong, always. Jadi gini pak, IE lagi diskon kan? Ini anda datang juga momennya lagi pas nih. Ya saya beli nggak ya? Mengingat menerka-nerka bahwa pas saya harus balik lagi di budak IE, atau udah aja stay di sini. Yang repot tuh kalau balik lagi ke IE tuh harus buat thumbnailnya sih. Itu aja sih repotnya sama malesnya. Iya, dari tadi gue lupa nggak nyalain mic-nya lah. Aduh, nggak bisa ke bawah ya. Saya mau ke bawah. Oke. Mungkin masuk dari situ kali ya. Kalau ada yang chat di Twitch saya lihat. Enggak. Di Twitch itu cuma bisa ngechat doang. Ngechat apa sih? Ngechat lagi. Cuma bisa muncul notifikasi live tapi nggak muncul live-nya. Karena emang setahu gue kan nggak boleh double stream kan. Setahu gue Bang Tinggi Bang Gilang lo bisa tuh. Cuman gue nggak tahu tuh caranya gimana biar kayak dia. Belum muncul ya. Oke. Ya malah manjat. Itu sih. Itu bisa chat aja. Gue cuma tapi cuma gue pantengin doang. Bukan chatnya kebaca sama gue. Tapi live-nya nggak muncul. Itu aja. Yang gue tuh dia nggak mukulnya terlalu modern. Nih sih sampai level 30 aja kayaknya. Bingung gak liatnya? Iya pak. Siapa? Nggak bisa. Cuman caranya gue nggak tahu. Biarlah seperti itu kalau gitu. Ini gue menggabut sekali, coba bro. Oh sini, entahlah. I don't know. Saya tak tahu. Catherine. Udah kita berevent dulu aja lah. Ke hotel. Ke the view. Ini gue mulai gabut ini. Ayolah, kita ke tujuan utama. Oh, dia dibuat dandan dong. Sabar.
Which is more valuable, unlimited mora or unlimited time?
Mateng, kita mau ke Mateng.
Welcome to the court of Fontaine. Welcome to the court of Fontaine. Please watch your step.
Ternyata gue udah sampai sana.
Welcome to the Navia line. This journey will be returning to the court of Fontaine. I am Elfan, your tour guide for this trip. But I hope you won't mind if my commentary fails to do justice to the majestic views before your eyes. Anyway, the destination of this tour is the capital city of this nation, the court of Fontaine. Even the critic who once compared the city to a cage of stone and steel could not deny its aesthetic appeal. To the right of the aquabus, suspended in midair, is Fontaine's renowned research institute. I hear the employees there do crazy overtime regardless of rank or distinction. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the incident.
Udah ya? Tahan bro. Lupa. Mbak.
That can't be right. Oh, but what if they're real after all? No, that can't be. But what if there's a chance?
Greetings, miss. Is there something that's bothering you?
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm Della Roche, the representative of the Fontaine Fishing Association. How can I help you? Oh, so you're adventurers. Oh, finally, someone has heard my prayers.
Paimon could tell you were really bothered by something. Don't worry, you've got two super experienced adventurers right here. We'll take care of anything and everything for you as long as you pay us a little bit of mora.
Oh, you are exactly the helpers I need. See, the problem is that the fish around a fishing spot at Araneus have just all up and vanished recently. They disappeared too quickly for it to have been the work of human anglers. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I had planned to go and investigate the area right away.
Tapi
Right, but unfortunately, as the representative of the Fishing Association, there are a few other errands that I absolutely have to run. So
you'd like us to investigate the spot for you?
exactly, you're right on the Mora. So I thought I could delegate this work to you. Are you two some kind of prophets, knowing exactly what I was going to say like that? Or maybe like the oracles you read about in fairy tales?
Yeah, we're just really experienced in this kind of thing, that's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'll get a good night's sleep knowing the two of you are on the case.
But don't we just need to investigate the missing fish? It really doesn't sound too difficult?
No, you mustn't let your guard down. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I have good reason to believe that the fish have gone missing due to an encounter with the water imps. Yes, you're both Outlanders, right? Our local fairy tales often speak of a terrifying underwater creature called Thelxie. The story our parents would tell us was always the same. If we went to the water alone, then we'd be snatched away and eaten by a water imp called Thelxie.
Child-eating water imp? Did they tell you what it looked like?
My father would always describe it as a beautiful, multicolored snake woman, while my mother said it had a handsome face. It's really strange, though, because you'd also hear other people describe it as just a chubby penguin with a deceptive appearance. Even though the tales vary regarding its appearance, everyone agrees that it's really dangerous. It lives in an underwater cave surrounded by pallid bones and uses its sensitive nose to track down lonely children who've lost their way. And once it finds a child, it uses its alluring singing voice to lure them into the water before swallowing them all. Pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Sounds kinda scary. But isn't that pretty normal for a fairy tale? After all, those kinds of stories are usually made up to help keep children away from danger.
But what if the fairy tale was inspired by a real-life tale, just like how a water vein always has a source? Well, I wouldn't call it evidence per se, but I've heard some rumors lately. They say that someone recently saw a child walk into the water as if he was possessed by something. Doesn't that sound just like he was responding to the call of a water imp?
So you mean someone really got eaten by a water imp?
It's all hearsay, so it's hard to confirm. But still, they all say this happened on Arrhenius. That's no laughing matter if you ask me. Both the Opera House and the Fountain of Lucine were built there, and the sources of many water veins can be traced to the island as well. Combine that with the mysterious mist, the huge tree with expansive underground roots, and the rumor that the fish-heps on the island can understand human language. Is it really so shocking that an island so shrouded in mystery could harbor a terrifying water imp as well?
Why does Paimon feel like you're pulling our leg? You're just piling on the rumors now. Still, if someone's really been hurt, then we can't just ignore the situation, right, Traveler?
Oh, marvelous. Then I'll just mark the stretch of water on your map. Don't forget that no matter what, safety always comes first.
Keamanan nomor 1. Waduh, kok di ujung sini? Kejauhan eta. Wah, ini sih jalan-jalan, bro.
Stay close.
Let's dance.
Do your work. We shall.
Born of ice and frost.
Yield.
Windblade!
Oh, how exciting! Access denied.
Do your work.
Yeah, what?
Born of ice and frost.
Flee.
A reward on the road.
Hmm. Pas. Ya, belum blok setengahnya.
No touching.
Do your work. Wind blade. Yeah. What?
Born of ice and frost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Access denied.
Yield. Grant us your blessing.
As a dutiful maid would. Leave it all to me. Yeah.
Flee. Yeah.
Born of ice and frost. Blaze over.
Yield.
No touching. Steady as stone.
Flee.
Born of ice and frost.
Do your worst.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Flee.
No touching.
Yield. Flee. Do your work.
Access denied.
Wind blade. I'll keep this close.
We're way behind schedule.
Di situ berarti.
No touching.
Flee!
Malah gabut gua.
Is this the stretch of water Delaroche was talking about? It looks really peaceful. Huh? Look, there are some footprints over there. These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and see if we can find anything else. Wait! Did you hear something just now?
Apa tuh? Oh dia. Apa tuh, Ma?
Traveler?
Lo. Spoiler deh kita.
I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing this.
Buka, biar tahu. Permanen. Oh, ada introduction sekarang ya. Main kemarin nggak ada di setahu gua.
Paimon, are you okay?
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp. Thank goodness it was just you wearing your helmet.
Huh? A water imp? Thelxie, you say? How surprising.
Huh? You know that name too? Or do you know someone else who's trying to investigate the water imp?
No, I think our situations are probably unrelated.
Yuk.
Sure, if that's in order. I know the name because of one of my employers. She noticed the clockwork penguins I brought to the workshop and contacted me through the shop's owner. She has commissioned me to make a special toy. Following her request, I've named the toy Thelxie.
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp? Wait, hold on! Fremina, you never take commissions from other people!
Yeah, but, she made a special request, but out of respect for her privacy, I can't really talk about it. It's alright though. She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly, and I'll just tell her that you're two of my trustworthy companions. Hearing that, she might be willing to share some information, and you'll be able to continue with your investigation.
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate. Our target isn't necessarily the water imp, though. We're primarily here to investigate the disappearance of the fish.
The fish? I think I may have connected the dots. These past few weeks, I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. The pressure testing makes a lot of noise. So, all that about the disappearing fish, well, it was probably because of me.
So that's all it was? That actually makes a lot of sense. Wait, so could that mean the child we heard about who walked into the water was also...
Yes, I think that's quite likely as well.
Whew. So in the end, it was just Fremina. from the fairy tales might look like, and it all turns out to be just a hoax.
I'm sorry. It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. I'll try to finish this commission as soon as possible. Once I'm done, the fish should come back. Thanks for offering, but I can't trouble you any more than I already have.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. Didn't you just call us your trustworthy companions? Companions are all about helping each other, you know?
But don't you need to report back to your commissioner?
Nope, that's not how it works. See, Paimon's got these commissioner types all figured out, even though we were just tasked with finding out why the fish had gone missing. If we tell them now that it was all just a misunderstanding, you can bet they'd just immediately hand us another commission to help them get the fish back. Exactly! So if we can help you finish up your work and get the fish back, that would save us an extra trip!
Is that what you'd like to do as well? Huh. All right, I'll trust your judgment. Please follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there. I've stored Thelxie in the tent. He can respond to some simple verbal commands. You can try calling his name and see if he'll come over.
Whoa, sounds pretty advanced. Let Paimon give it a try. Hey, Thelxie, are you there?
Hey bro, namanya flexing. Flexing ya bro.
So that's Ferminae's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep. Had Thelxie lived in Penguin Town, he'd probably have become great friends with Pear.
Apa nih? Kenapa harus pet?
It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie, nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
Hai.
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea. As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were pre-written into its motherboard. I haven't given him the ability to convert those messages into discernible words, so he can't really talk to us just yet.
Masih belum bisa ngomong.
No need to get so technical. So basically, you want us to help you complete and install this language module, right?
No, there's no need. That wasn't one of my employer's requests. It was just something I wanted to try. I have two other things I'd like your help with. The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's motherboard, to make sure he will be able to function properly in most situations.
That doesn't sound too hard. And what's the other thing?
The others shouldn't take too long either. You'll need to find Thelxie some colorful shells and coral, so I can craft a weapon for him.
A weapon? Will Felxie have to fight?
Mm-hmm. Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a weapon in hand, like that brave prince of legend. It's a part of my employer's request.
What an imaginative employer! Naming Felxie after a water imp, but wanting him to look like a prince?
Well, regardless of his role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the same. Just like Pear, he has come to this world to serve as somebody's companion.
Whoa, Felxie just said something again! Could he understand what we were just talking about?
He can react to certain key words, but unfortunately, due to the lack of a translation module, he still can't quite communicate with us.
That's a pity. But anyway, the most important thing right now is for us to get to work. Maybe let's start by doing some testing on the motherboard. That sounds like something we can do here in the camp.
Sounds good. The motherboard is on my workbench, so please follow me.
Jalan-jalan.
Ah, here we go. I have this testing manual, so feel free to reference it if you get stuck. Want to give it a try? It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup boards just in case.
Nah, ini dong. Mainboard.
Okay. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Ayo, kita main.
Please give the testing a try. The motherboard's on the table there.
Oke, selesai.
You're doing well. Just as I expected.
We've taken on a lot of similar tasks before, you know.
Then let's move on to the underwater part. It's just as I mentioned earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral. Oh, speaking of which, you're both already pretty used to Fontaine's underwater environment, right?
Yap. Udah ahli.
Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you ever feel uncomfortable. I'll make sure to stay right by your side.
Hmm.
Do your worst! We shall prevail! Yield!
Born of ice and frost.
Flee! Windblade! Do your worst!
No touching. Access denied.
It should be right over there. We'll be able to find something that'll help us with our search. This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water to help us with all kinds of underwater exploration and excavation efforts. Here, try it. Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected some just now. Let's go check them out. These should be enough. Let's head back to camp. Thank you for staying out here with me all this time.
We meet again. Enggak. Sekarang ketemu lagi.
Ah, Fremine, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame d'Estrée. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
Oh, they're two of my trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame d'Estrée. Are you Fremine's employer? Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
Oh,
Greetings, my new friends. Just call me Zuria. You are both so adorable. The sight of you reminds me of little fairies under a cottage roof.
Oh, do you really think so?
Of course. If my child had friends like you, then perhaps he wouldn't have become so obsessed with the tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had to trouble Fremine here with this commission.
Obsessed with the tales of water imps?
Ah, so you don't know anything about my request yet? I would have thought Fremine had explained it to you already.
Well, Fremine told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
I see. So Monsieur Fremine is even more discreet than I had thought. As you are assisting him with the project, I believe it'll be beneficial for you to learn more about its vision and history. But it would be quite impolite of me to simply pile all of my troubles on you without your permission. So, would you like to listen to my story?
Sure, you can tell us anything. You've already said nice things about us, so we'll try our best to help you get through your troubles.
Ah, what a lovely little fairy. Then let me think of a way to put my situation into words. I'm sure you're already familiar with the tale of the water imps, right? Simply put, parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary abductors in an effort to convince their children to stay away from the water. My child is rather special, however. While most other children are terrified of Thelxie, he's infatuated with him.
Infatuated? With a water imp? What a brave soul.
Yes, He told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind, instead of singing to abduct children, the water imp actually sang out of a longing for companionship. As a result, he often goes near the water in secret.
Huh. So he wanted to become friends with the water imp so it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way of thinking.
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always stood out from the crowd. He was actually diagnosed with loneliness syndrome when he was only 8 years old.
Hah? Loneliness syndrome. Sindrom kesendirian.
It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
If you were to become afflicted with the disorder, Paimon, you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words you're saying to the traveler now.
No! Paimon won't accept that! We would have to find a doctor to help cure Paimon. Paimon has a 2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less!
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son, but since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable delusions.
Huh? Uncontrollable what now?
Uncontrollable delusions. To put it simply, he can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
I need
What is he
tissue.
seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
Terus kenapa?
Amazing! Your son came up with all of this? He really crafted a lovely fairy tale world for Thelxie. It's like a beautiful dream.
But perhaps no beautiful dream can ever last long. You see, the story ended with a twist.
Terbunuh. Sepanjang itu mencoba untuk menyelamatkan dirinya. Oke.
How could the story end like this? Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such terrible delusions to manifest. But in any case, the biggest problem is the patient eventually loses themselves to the fantasy world of their own creation.
My poor child can no longer differentiate between imagination and reality. He's begun to see himself as Thelxie.
Perhaps in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who lost everything he ever loved or stood for.
What? So that's what you meant by uncontrollable delusions. Then we have to help him snap out of it.
Alas, most of the time he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several discussions with the doctor, and we think it is best to try to guide his fantasy. He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary world. But since the disorder progressed too quickly, he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could use this book as a breakthrough for his condition... Here, you can take a look.
Ah, so Zuria's-san also saw Thelxie as a penguin.
Mm-mm.
Oh, he looks so sad.
Dia galau.
What we should do now is help him complete this picture book. However, we'll lead the story to a different ending. One where the water imp prince is eventually able to restore his kingdom with the help of his friends. We'll need to chase away his loneliness and sorrow, and let him perceive a world full of hope again. That's what I mean by guiding his fantasy.
But if we just need to finish the picture book, why does Fremine need to make a Thelxie as well?
Because we need to treat the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey like Thelxie, and help him regain his crown and country. But my child can no longer go on a journey of his own. This is why I commissioned Fremine here to craft a Thelxie, and then I'll paint the journey with this Thelxie into the picture book.
Ah, like a stand-in for your son! Paimon's starting to get it now. Oh, you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a Water Imp Kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the Salacia Plains. I've already asked Fremine to research them for me. We'll be able to use one of the ruins as the kingdom.
Oh, so we'll just need to act out a performance of, a brave journey through the Kingdom of Water Imps. As long as we chase away the monsters in the ruins, it'll count as chasing away the monsters in the Water Imp Kingdom, right?
Sadly, no. We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said. We need to take this seriously, and the only way we can take this seriously is if we choose to believe everything that's happening is real.
So we'll be playing it straight, or, making it a fully immersive experience? Oh, neither of those really sound right. Well, either way, we'll still be able to help, right?
It's all right.
Yep.
There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal. I believe in my son. We can just see this as him wanting to stay asleep for a bit longer, because he's so enamored with his dream.
Zuria.
Keep your spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my son is sure to become anxious as well. I should be heading back right about now to check on my son. We temporarily moved to a place on the hill over there, so my son will have a better spot to convalesce. It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if anything urgent comes up.
Understood. There's also one last thing. Since these two friends were able to help me out, I've made some more progress on Thelxie. I estimate that he should be ready sometime tomorrow.
That's great news. I must thank you all. With that in mind, how about we meet here in 2 days' time to head to the Kingdom of Water Imps? All right, everyone. Let's meet again in another 2 days.
Zuria sure is a brave and optimistic lady. Fremine, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent. There were a few things that I didn't bring up because the Madame was here.
What is it, Fremine? What did you want to say?
If you don't mind me asking, I would like the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves. This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite turn out as we wish, I hope you'll be able to accept the outcome and not put too much blame on yourselves.
Fremine, why do you bring this up all of a sudden? Didn't we just promise Zuria that we'll be optimistic about everything working out?
It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just...
So that's why you looked like you knew exactly what she was talking about. Wait, Fremine, don't tell Paimon that you also...
No. Please don't misunderstand. I've never had it. I've just seen many cases of it at the House of the Hearth, back when we lived under the previous director. They say there are many factors surrounding the development of this illness. I've heard everything from hereditary factors and one's state of mind, to environmental factors and even ley line disorder effects. Some even say it could be caused by contamination from god remains. And from the cases I've seen, there weren't many positive outcomes. In the worst cases, the patient could even pass away.
What? It could get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop talking as much.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. So if you'll find it difficult to cope with the worst case scenario, I would prefer that you back out right now. I don't want you to help only to feel like you failed.
Hey, now's not the time to be joking around. Don't worry, Fremine. No matter how hard it might get, we'll be able to handle it.
Really? Then in that case, let's see this real-life fantasy adventure together to the end.
Yeah! But Paimon has a question. If this illness can really be as bad as you've described, then do you really think Zuria's method will be able to help? After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps. The whole adventure will only be turned into a picture book for her son to read.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself somehow. The only reason he's allowed his dream kingdom to fall is because he's lost control of his heart. But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Fremine?
maybe because I have also had many of my own dreams in the past. I even had my own fairy tale world, much like that boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it, so I believe in the power of fantasy worlds. So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale world? Don't leave Paimon in the dark! Hey, why did you put that on?
It's just one of my personal quirks. Please pay it no mind. Anyway, Penguin Town is a peaceful place with lots of penguin residents. They're all really good at making clockwork toys. And Pear is the town's triumphant hero, as well as the one who quietly protects the whole place.
Pear? But didn't you make Pear yourself?
Well, I often think that Pear only came to me because he realized how much I needed him. So it's not so much that I made Pear, as Pear chose me as his friend.
Fremine, are you sure you're not losing control of your fantasies as well?
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate between fantasy and reality. I just believe that the fairy tale world of my dreams must also exist somewhere. It might just be hidden, which is why it's difficult to see. Or it will only reveal itself at very specific times.
Specific times? Like when you put on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you put on your helmet.
Have you ever observed the surface world from underwater? It's as if you're viewing a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly wondrous things, as if a fairy tale has become reality. It's almost like a sort of miracle.
Really? Like a miracle?
Well, if that's in order.
Hey, now's not the time! Fremine still has Thelxie's weapon to make. We don't want to bother him now.
Right. I still have to collect some tools I'll need to craft the weapon. I've got to finish everything before tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me, Paimon. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my helmet. Thanks for all of your help. I'll be off for now. Let's meet up here again in 2 days.
Ya, cerita apa nih? Aduh, dia pakai bahasa Morse dia. Halo bro, halo Pak Mori. Halo bro. Oke, dia ceritain tentang pakai Morse. Oke, nah, nanti aja lah. Ada lebih penting dari itu sekarang bro. Masih 2 minggu kan, masih aman. Apa nih? You teach me, but aduh, sama bro. I'm not good English speaker. but at least I'm trying the best. Kalau tanya apa tuh, teach me, I can. I'm only good as listening and reading, but not as speaker. Kalau tanya bisa ngajar, kita bisa, tapi ya itu gue ini sedikit cerita nih. Gue juga ngajar bahasa Inggris itu, tapi gue sendiri pun ngajarnya cuman bener-bener murni listening sama reading. Speakingnya tuh based on ini aja, based on paragraph aja. Soalnya dulu tuh gua bahasa Inggrisnya emang bagusnya cuman listening sama reading. So when up to speaking, I'm not good at all, but at least I'm trying the best. Ya seenggaknya nyoba lah. Oh iya, makanya gue tuh bahasa Inggris tuh pengen sekali listening sama reading, karena kalau listening sama reading itu belajarnya nggak susah, tapi kalau sisanya susah bener tuh. Ayo kita kesini. Ini dulu deh, kita ke Wawan dulu kali ya. Tapi kan Anda Pak Guru bisa Inggris. Iya, saya guru. Kan gue bilang tadi metode ngajar gue kayak gitu, dan gue pun juga sadar because like that. I'm only teaching at least middle school lah. Kalau udah high school kayaknya udah agak berat, especially college. Karena emang dulu pas gua kuliah aja wah susah bener pak.
Hey, it's them.
Hai, itu mereka. Lama bener nggak selesai.
You're still here?
Ada Sawada masih Akabang. Justirnya masih di sini. Pakai buat esai, masih ngomongin esai yang mana nih?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once
Tuh,
more.
kalau misalnya soal speaking, soal listening, reading, loh, masih bisa gua. Tapi kalau udah soal speaking, aduh udah agak susah. Writing, komo pak.
We have time. What do you want to
I'm
talk to
terrible
us
at
about?
writing. That's why I'm
It's the same topic we discussed last
only
time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about
deep learning
Kikari
about
Suna, huh?
listening and reading.
Should we join them?
Itu kayak ini, kayak lu main game aja. Belajar itu kayak lu main game loh. Lu harus tahu apa yang lu dalemin. Ya lu fokusnya main Genshin, ya lu fokus main Genshin aja. Terus daleminnya lagi, ya lu pengen dalamin karakter siapa. Kayak gitu, sama kayak belajar. Lu mau belajar yang mana dulu bahasa Inggrisnya. Nanti kalau lu udah tahu pengen belajar dari yang mana, baru lu nanti bisa ngedalemin. Dulu cara belajar gue kayak gitu.
We haven't made any real progress.
Sayangnya kita nggak ada pengembangan. Aduh, baca ulang deh.
Oh, of course.
Sini. Listening bangun series sponsor by Faktor Project. Ini ada Faktor Project yang isinya number. Tuh gara-gara lu gue jadi belajar bahasa Inggris lagi nih. Abstrak yang apa? Sesuai minimalis major pilar. Pilar utama dari meeting industri, dari industri Inazuma. Meeting tuh apa? Terus meetingnya gue kadang masih nyari Google tuh, karena emang gue sendiri bukan orang yang bahasa Inggrisnya bagus loh. Meeting. Smith. Tanda besi. fact to base. I believe however maybe the story. Oh, mereka menyembunyikan cerita dan event. Oke. Hence. Oleh sebab itu, kelas itu dianalisa dan juga dicari data-datanya yang belum ini. Paper continuous. Walau udah jadi guru mah masih harus tetap belajar terus ya. Harus dong bro. Gue aja ini ya satu alasan gue kenapa mainin Genshin pakai bahasa Inggris. Kalau ASL mungkin gue kemarin datanya pakai bahasa Indonesia, jadi ya udahlah gue fullin bahasa Indonesia. Tapi kalau Genshin kayak gue usahain pakai bahasa Inggris. Soalnya apa ya? Soalnya biar tahu kata-kata yang unusual aja kan kadang-kadang kayak mana nih ya? A venue. Ada beberapa kata-kata yang gue tuh masih unfamiliar kayak tadi hands, terus jadi satu kata itu pembendaharaannya lu cari artinya kalau lo emang nggak tahu gitu. Kalau ini tuh data, berdasarkan data yang ada, platform teknik, and done by electronic. Oke, dibuatnya sama si Mbak Ray. Nasional saya ada slogan. Ya sih nggak arti. Inherited from the Elkon. Inherit tuh gue aja kadang masih nyari sepatah dua patah kata, tapi bener-bener nggak parah-parah banget lah. Inherit. Oke. Oh, diwarisi dari Elkon tersebut, dan akan the foto. Oke, devoted. Mencurahkan mencurahkan diri mereka untuk proses ini ya. Oh tuh vlogging tuh gue aja kadang masih lupa loh. Di tempat. Oke. Tempat level cek rumor, ada rumor along with an electric mechanism for what as the three windows of need to investigate. Oke. Jadi intinya ini pengen menginvestigasi apa sih yang terjadi loh. Ada si sama nih Waklen. Oke. Gue juga sambil belajar ini. Gak lu bilang belajar, gue jadi belajar nih. Tapi nggak apalah. Ada konten upload. Strange note, ada berapa yang curigakan di tata kasuna. Oke. Gone better. Oke. Si bapaknya nih menyambut pas lagi nempak. Obsession to instant. Obsesinya untuk membersihkan nama Oshi. Tapi kadang-kadang tuh bahasa Inggris tuh ada istilah-istilah loh. Kayak gini. Must eat him. Karena harus makan mereka. Nah mungkin tuh artiannya bisa lain loh. Itu. Jadi kadang apa yang kita artiin tuh bisa bermakna lain loh. Kayak ini aja nih. Ini kalau pakai bahasa Indonesia aja kan langsung berubah kata-katanya. Itu bro. Inspection. Itu completely melt. Meleleh, pedangnya meleleh, senjatanya meleleh dan terbakar. Langsung mentet. Okay. Mad fastness. Mal. Oh, kejahatan. Karena dia telah membuat kejahatan, itu membuatnya mungkin telah membuat sakit hati atau tersakiti hatinya mungkin ya. kerja ngerti-ngertinya kadang masih salah. Udah ada fitur translate juga gue masih iya aja. Tapi kadang mengartikan sendiri sama mengartikan translate tuh ada rasa perbedaan loh. Kalau ngartiin sendiri tuh rasanya lu kayak udah belajar bener loh. Tapi kadang kalau masih ngeliat translate sepertinya lu kayak butuh memang perlu baik belajar lagi. Gitu sih. Even native speaker kayak mereka juga masih baik belajar bro. Hmm. Ada yokai juga. Wah ini kalau didalamin panjang bener. Tapi itu sih karena kita malas baca ya, jadi kadang kayak gitu juga baik lewatin. Padahal mungkin kadang yang gini yang justru apa tuh? Yang justru kalau paham buat ceritanya tuh bakal menarik gitu loh. Tata Rasuna. Oke. Unfinished. Sip.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Allah panjang banget bro. Kita suruh baca-baca ini. Lu bayangin ya. After this had a long time mantap kata. Stone berconfidence only is mantap ya. They must extract from game beyond spy. The mood that the sign inspire was unavailable beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The main baker cheerful, greeting and splendid to join the procession. There are towering character who stood half head taller greater him, with a heavy slap on the back. Apa nih? Tapi kalau udah bisa bahasa Inggris, nggak mesti tahu artinya. Iya. Sama apa ya? Kadang tuh, pokoknya kata kebanggaan ketika lu belajar tuh adalah ketika lu tuh nggak perlu lihat lagi tutorial awal. Beneran. Jadi ketika lu udah tahu maknanya ini, lu nggak perlu lihat bahasa, lu nggak perlu lihat kamusnya lagi, udah. Itu menurut gue satu kebanggaan ketika lu udah bisa belajar sih. Ya kita kan bisa belajar baca, nggak perlu lihat ABCD dan teman-teman lainnya kan, langsung aja baca semuanya kan, kalau udah paham loh. Itu kayak gue aja nih, kayak misalnya nih sekali-sekali pengen iseng belajar, gue belajar kayak gini loh, baca semua loh. Ini malah respect to you, misalnya I cannot think the return trip ever in this city could have been easy on you. You smile, young man, taking the first step on the unit expression relax. Terus dia mengekspresikan. He said while is the Tom realm of the mighty shoulder. I saw upon the subject, upon the sweetness, he hotel with the danger could I help with the best. What about the good news? There was some naturally. Ya, ada berapa? Coba into spring later with other walk under the bed end. Lauter kan ketawa. Sampai berakhir. Okay. Young man rest line as the questions relation to first. Now the flame for the forest and lagi namanya ada for late intensity attractive the resulting integrity for the both metal blade. So then gue tuh selalu ngasih materi ya. Gimana caranya tuh nggak boleh LPR, tapi yang harus mereka paham adalah mereka harus bisa ngelakuin tuh langsung di kelas tanpa dibawa pulang. Jadi ketika ada yang bilang bawa PR, lo tidak boleh. Dilarang ada per depan saya. Itu. Ada one frame watcher unusual in the video. At his fingertips had a lizard, and on his face he had a smile. The Voucher was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many walking alongside the Watcher. Yet he stood alone only when Katsuge Miyazaki stood into the room. Did the Watcher turn? Apa lagi? Oh iya, itu sih. Kan gua nih kan orangnya listening reading kan. Kalau dari listening reading itu biasanya tuh ke bawahnya tuh ada namanya pronunciation. Pronunciation apa tuh? Pronunciation tuh kayak with this watcher. Watchernya tuh harus bilang watcher. Jadi kalau bahasa kosakata kita ada total 24 atau 26 kata, gue lupa lagi takutnya salah. Bahasa Inggris tuh total kosakatanya ada 44 lebih atau 40 lebih lah. Kalau pengen ini. Takutnya gue salah loh. Kayak bahasa A sampai Z itu kan 20 lebih. Nah, sama bahasa Inggris tuh itu banyak banget loh. Itu kayak lo belajar apa tuh? Kayak lo belajar dari satu titik ke titik yang lainnya. Ketika lo tahu titik yang lainnya baik banget, wah udah di situ titik lo sadar bahwa belajar lo masih kurang. Itu bro. This watching normal inspiration for the thousand. Children declare with self as one of the three pillars of the Asian art. He never argued with his sibling and was worthy successor by all costs. Was by receiving result of his high standing with Luz, this power served as a statement unto itself. He had a well-born. Oh, ini belum pernah ngaruh home. Belum pernah ngasih homework sama sekali. Enggak, gue gak suka bahkan. Ajaran dari orang tua gue. Kalau lu ngasih tugas, lu berarti ngasih mereka kerjaan. Sedangkan kita ini kan di kontraknya kan kalau ngajar kan kayak cuman 2 jam pelajaran doang. Ya udah 2 jam pelajaran aja dalam kelas itu. Jangan lu di luar pelajaran lagi, itu di luar pelajaran namanya lu itu di luar jam, di luar rezeki lu. Kan berarti apa sih bahasanya? Mereka nggak bisa ini dong, nggak bisa waktu mereka kan mereka di sekolah tuh bayar kan. Nah, udah bayarnya buat di sekolah. Jangan sampai bayaran buat sekolah kita kasih lagi buat di luar, tuh berarti sama aja kayak bro, minta lagi dong bro, gitu. Nggak mau gue kayak gitu. Gitu, makanya kalau orang yang sama gue tuh syukur sebetulnya karena gue nggak bakal kasih tugas. Ya sebetulnya orang sekarang sih nggak bakal baik kasih tugas sih menurut gue. Tapi tergantung tipenya. Karena biasanya tuh mungkin ya, kenapa mungkin mereka kasih tugas? Karena mungkin panutan mereka sendiri seperti itu. Salah satu faktornya. Misalnya gue panutannya si A, yang emang dia biasa ngasih tugas banyak terus. Nah udah gue bakal ngasih tugas baik terus kayak gitu loh. Nah gue ngomong kayak gitu. Gue mau tugasnya cuma selesai di sekolah. Jadi yang gak maju mohon maaf. Gitu. Kan kelihatan berarti seberapa niat lu pengen ke sekolah buat belajar, seberapa niat lu di sekolah gak mau belajar. Itu aja. Oke. But anyway, suggested his expression said to claim the city to entirely of your plan, yet I still believe it to be worth as a try. Harus coba ya. As just I have found the proper vendors material for the request. Udah ketemu vendor nih yang bisa ini request lo. There's some this of forest technique. Oke. Di Indojuma tuh emang mixing antara baca kamus sih, sumpah. Genshin tuh tentang baca-baca loh. Kalau lu nggak suka baca, repot sih. Lu nggak bisa dapetin deep kayak pendalaman ceritanya. Kecuali lu dari YouTube ya, dari YouTube. Ya kan suka ada tuh YouTube dibuat singkat mungkin cerita sini. Oh padahal dia bacanya kayak gini bro, setengah mati. Kalau nggak dihati-hatiin dulu loh. Jadilah poin-poin pentingnya gitu. Find surprises and difficulty undertaking. susah untuk undertaking itu tanggung jawab. Susah untuk ini tanggung jawab ya. Oke, you know better still to seek improvement each day. Oh, ngelihat terus perkembangannya ya. Gue aja kadang ngaltiin gini masih baik yang salah loh. Tapi seenggaknya tutup poin aja. Bang, kenapa bang? Halo bang. Halo dia, halo lu. Ini dong saya misal tulis fan I see is ya. Yang rilis dari self Rahasia terus time. Oh, ini bisa baca sampai jam 11 nih kita nih. Kenapa bukan apa bro lali. Semoga anda sehat selalu, karena kalau datang sini biasa aku sehat sih. Apa nih? Gue baru main di awal. Pokoknya kalau ketika main di awal, saranku cuma satu. Jangan pernah nyentuh artefak dulu. Kecuali nanti udah sampai level 35-40an. Biarlah artefak itu berjalan secara sendiri alamiah. Yang lu pentingin tuh adalah senjata dan juga apa tuh satunya karakter tuh talentnya udah. Senjata sama talent udah tuh yang lu sementingin kalau lu baru main di awal. Oke, apa nih? Tapi ada gak sih kerja sampingan masuk R15 itu tadi pokoknya lo pentingin talent, pentingin apa tuh? Pentingin senjata dulu. Karena kalau artefak itu nanti nyusul. Kalaupun misalnya lo ini seenggaknya jangan taikin sampai full. Udah itu aja dari gua. Kerja sampingan nggak banyak. Tapi tergantung kalau lo punya koneksi, karena benar-benar koneksi itu nggak bisa bohong, penting. Gue belum beruntung aja nih, belum punya koneksi. Tapi gue kemarin sempat ngalamin sih yang namanya mohon maaf ya, koneksinya dapet, lagi beruntung banget tuh dapat banyak. Tapi ya itu tadi, lo harus based on luck dulu. Semuanya kan perlu namanya keberuntungan bro. Kalau enggak ya susah juga. Itu sih. Jadi gacha. Dapat poinnya sekali spin dapat. Wow. Udah langsung budidayakan. Pokoknya jangan pernah berpikir untuk megang artefak dulu. Kalau gua mindset gua kayak gitu. Oke. Apa nih? Gue tuh diajarin juga sama dosen gue. Jadi lu tuh baca ada namanya scanning, skimming, sama tahu tuh satu lagi lupa. Pokoknya scanning sama skimming tuh penting. Scanning dalam arti lu baca seperlunya aja. Tapi juga lu benar-benar harus tahu itu artinya apa. Bagus dong. Tapi kebutuhannya ada di ini, ada di Pontianak. Jadi lu ngambil di Pontianak dulu. Iya, sepenting itu. Sangat penting dong, enak aja. Gue bisa ngapa-ngapain sekarang karena koneksinya banyak. Kalau enggak juga mana bisa gue bisa kayak sekarang. Dan gini, koneksi itu nggak bisa tercipta gitu aja. Lo perlu juga namanya keberuntungan. Keberuntungannya kayak gimana? Lo nggak sengaja ketemu siapa. Ternyata siapanya tuh membuat lo dapet dikontak sama si ini. Nah itu namanya keberuntungan. Jadi lu tuh harus juga nggak sengaja kenal sama siapa. Karena kalau lu berbicara soal koneksi, ya lu berbicara juga soal keberuntungan bro. Gue titik gue bisa kayak sekarang karena ya itu tadi, keberuntungan orang beda-beda loh. Stealing from the office. Explain spell black cloud rate bottom of the board. Nah ini istilah nih. Paling speed, black cloud trees, bottom of the pot. like a changing base. Lines can swim away, making low. Slowly approaching by the wake. Not but half was out. Not blood. Yes, he did not to cloud. But had the pick a hand sleep clean. Gitu ya. Pokoknya tanya-tanya aja buat gue bawel. Karena gue tuh harus ditanya. Kalau nggak nanya, gue diem aja. Karena saya mengefektifkan ini gameplay gue. Lebih tepatnya baca gue. Karena gitu loh. Kalau kayak lo ini baca, gue juga baca loh. Kalau gue lagi pengen skip, gue juga bakal skip loh. Gitu. Sensor left stick. Eight body. As always, face give us. Funeral pemakaman dong. Ayo Wisnu saya dia nggak bakal balik. Aduh, dia nggak bakal balik. Wah, ini sedih sih. Shoulder teman-teman bisa over 10 people have to perish. That's why kok sedih sih. First only just begun. Oke. Mulai. Tapi data semua ke Indonesia. Jauh loh sebetulnya. Kecil masnya menuntut for six salvation this one the first game health station the social. I need to gain resume. Masuk it cost them one life. Cuma was gone. Aduh, hilang. Hilangnya antara hilang atau hilang nggak berbentuk. Next how not to fail we gonna don't worry. They inflate causing this incident. Okay. People grow suspicious. Suddenly figure idol selesai juga. I seeking someone my lord. Nyari seorang. Yaudah address. Lo harus kirim ini ke dia langsung loh. Firing blade only to materialize. Berarti lu saya satu. Lah ini gue lagi lanjut S2. Ini gue lagi lanjut S2 bro, tapi beda jurusan. Ini baik terus. Lagi beda jurusan tapi sama keguruan juga. Jadi nggak jauh-jauh banget lah. Karena emang dunia gue udah dunia keguruan bro. Bahkan kalau ada rezeki mau S3 ya lanjut aja lah. Pertama emang gue udah suka belajar. Tapi juga balik lagi gue ada rezekinya. Terus yang kedua juga harus mastiin bahwa masih hidup sendiri. Karena kalau biasa kalau udah punya pasangan udah agak complicated sih. Ya.
Hey, Traveler.
Bagus sih.
Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Yep.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long
Saban,
story.
keguruan.
Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma.
Sama tapi beda ngajarnya. Itu aja. Agak repot sih.
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Agak repot ya. Terus juga S2 gue tuh sekarang lagi persiapan seminar proposal. Tau lah seminar proposal kayak gimana ininya. Complicate-nya. Ini aja seminar proposal sampai dimundur loh. Gue juga belum selesai.
Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
Jadi ini tuh seminar proposal tuh kita kaget semua karena ternyata tahun ini loh kan tahun depan. Tapi bagus lah karena diburu-buruin, jadi gue juga pengen cepet-cepet selesai biar gak kepikiran loh deh. Percayalah, ketika lu masih punya kerjaan lu bakal kepikiran terus. Enaknya cepet-cepet selesaiin loh. Sebetulnya gue bab 1, bab 2 udah selesai. Yang belum selesai tuh bab 3. Sama bagian awal-awalnya tuh pembukaan, terus abstrak dan lain-lain itu belum. bagi waktu mah udah, bahkan gue sampai, mohon maaf ya, gue sampai ngorbanin satu kerjaan gue buat ini, buat kuliah
This
S2
new
gue.
information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Iya, jadi apa ya, bagi waktu itu udah gue sampai korbanin itu satu kerjaan gue, saking apa ya, saking bener-bener gue udah nggak kayak, gak takut yang nggak nyampe loh, udah gue korbanin aja lah. Emang sih lu ngorbanin uang, ngorbanin rezeki, tapi gue nih demi tuh, demi ini loh, demi menambah nama belakang. Mohon maaf, di kita tuh termasuk satu negara yang memandang nama belakang. Gue nggak tahu gimana mandangnya ya.
Okay, point taken. You were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Udah, kita tinggal aja khusus.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
Udah, makasih bro.
See ya.
Dadah.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Siap. Iya, beneran. Jadi mungkin apa ya, gue tuh juga alasan lainnya kenapa gue harus lanjut S3 kalau nanti emang ada rezeki, karena tempat gue S2 ini masih dalam tahap akreditasi. Maksudnya lebih tepatnya udah selesai diakreditasi, tapi dia baru akreditasi aja, belum nyampe naik ke akreditasi B. Itu lagi proses lah. Makanya gue tuh pikirnya mungkin emang gue harus lanjut S3 juga, soalnya takutnya kenapa-napa sama nama S2-nya. Kalau lu udah S3 itu udah bisa kemana-mana. Makin panjang ya, makin panjang, makin susah dah ini sama gua. Tapi juga baik lagi sih, baru rencana bro, nggak tahu bisa jalan, nggak tahu enggak. Tapi dibilang nyangka gue aja nggak nyangka bakal S2. Kalau S1 kayak, kalau penting gue sih udah wajib banget kudu selesai.
Finally move forward with my novel. But what a sad story.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I never would have guessed this.
Iya, novelnya sedih loh. Soalnya ada dai, ada pokoknya ada istilah-istilah yang memang itu tentang kentetan. Ayo kita bertemu sama Nadia. Lupa, udah bisa ada scene gak ya? Nggak ada, gue mau ganti karakter dulu. Nggak masalah sih. Mohon maaf ya, di kita nih itu aja, nama belakang masih dipandang. Makin dipandangnya sekarang dosen itu udah harus S3 loh. Kita jangan sampai muncul S4 sih. Sebetulnya wacananya ada, tapi gak tahu kapan. Gue kemarin pernah kasih tahu teman gue soalnya.
Traveler, Paimon.
Baru wacana doang.
Where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's
Kalau
rest
ada
this
makin
whole
panjang dah
time.
tuh.
That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up, and then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
Yang jelas kalau gue yang ngajar mah gue gak bakal buat susah. Tapi kan balik lagi, yang lain gue gak tahu mau susahnya kayak gimana. Makanya gue tuh pasti harus dampingin oleh orang yang tegas.
The balladeer?
Baladeng.
Sounds like
Wawan
something
udah
about me.
ribet bener lu mah. Oh no, tidak.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Oh galau. Kayak kita harus bilang jujur deh. Udah married? Belum nikah. Gimana mau nikah, punya pasangan yang susah. Sekali deketin orangnya nggak mau, atau orangnya udah punya. Aduh, nggak beruntung emang. Lebih tepatnya di situ titik gue kadang tuh gue sadar bahwa mungkin yang gue punya sekarang belum ada apa-apanya di matanya. Jadi situ titik gue harus mengembangkan diri gue. Itu bro. Kayak ini kan kayak gini nih, kayak gue tuh sekarang lagi berusaha buat gimana caranya YouTube harus bisa monet tahun ini. Enggak, dalam waktu pokoknya sampai lebaran lah target gue. Jadi apa ya, kalau YouTube udah mulai kan seenggaknya kan orang bisa member kan jatuhnya kalau emang mau. Sama tergantung gue tarifnya gue berapa sih.
That's quite a story.
Ceritanya kok sangat sedih.
This puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
Ya, si Wawan,
But how was he even able
si
to
Bladen
do
ngarep
that?
jadi Wawan.
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. So, you believe this person really existed?
Sudah
And we just don't
mau nanya
remember him
Umur tapi
because,
gimana ya?
well,
Umur mah tenang bro.
has he
Quarter
literally
life crisis.
changed the world?
Udah.
Yes.
Quarter life
Theoretically
crisis lo
speaking,
cari aja tuh
it
kisahan
is
berapa.
possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul.
Gitu sih.
And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten,
Nggak apa-apa.
it's you.
Awalnya gue agak sensitif sih kalau nanya Umur.
Quite incredible when you
Tapi
think about it.
lama-lama juga gue kayak ya udahlah. Toh semua hal-hal di sini itu wajar sebetulnya. Tapi jangan lu kasih tahu secara gamblang. Itu aja.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
Ya nape tuh?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
Man lo inget. Ateng doang yang inget nih. Pokoknya sama itu. Ngasih informasi seperlunya. Terus juga emang tuh aja yang dapetin gue sih. Kita bahasanya punya privacy juga. Itu juga diajar sama orang yang dulu gue deketin. Apa punya privacy loh. Jadi jangan terlalu menekan maksa orang. Kalau emang orang tuh udah gak mau. Itu sih. Jadi biar kita sama-sama menjaga privacy. Gue yang jelas kalau udah soal privacy gue udah ya udahlah. Kayak mah soal pasangan dan lain-lain jangan usah pusing lah. Ntar juga ada. Selagi masih ada chat terus aja ya. Jodoh, iya. Makanya nggak usah pusing. Kalau emang gak dikasih ya nggak boleh. Lo nggak boleh main model kayak gitu. Itu kayak nggak maksud. Terus juga ya kayak ini aja. Kayak lu main game, lu suka karakter ini. Sama kayak orang, lu nggak bisa lu dapet tipe yang sama, pasti lu bakal different type. Nah, ketika di event type ini, apa lu siap apa enggak? Itu aja sih. Itu aja. Kayak gue berapa orang yang gue deketin, tuh tipenya pada jauh-jauh semua. Dari satu ke yang satu. Tapi emang sih gue nggak bisa nyampe, wih kita deket langsung pacaran, nggak bisa gitu. Gue cuma sebatas suka doang. Karena emang mungkin batasnya segitu, dan karena itu gue mungkin kayak tak mungkin kurang ilmunya lah, tak mungkin kurang apa yang gue punya lah. Jadi ya udah. Dan juga ada. Tas kayaknya kamu curiga itu kadang nih, kalau nggak boleh deket sama yang ini nih, nah lu tuh berarti nggak boleh kayak dia loh. Karena kalau lu nanti misalnya sama dia di parallel world lu nih, nanti hidup lu stuck loh. Beneran. Makanya lu nggak boleh dikasih sama yang itu loh. Gitu kalau gue tuh mikirnya kadang. Kalau lu udah ada yang punya, bagus. Tahan kan. Kalau misalnya masih dalam tahap pacaran ya. Tapi kalau misalnya udah dalam tahap nikah, wah lu harus stay sih. Gitu kayak udah lu udah stuck. Udah jangan mikir buat yang lain lagi. Tapi kalau pikir buat yang lain lagi, repot. Percayalah. Tapi kalau lu masih tahap pacaran, masih tahap mencari-cari kayak gue gini, silahkan lu cari siapapun yang lu mau, tapi jangan lebih dari satu. Batasnya kan cuma satu, seperti biasa.
It couldn't
Kosong.
change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yap, tepat sekali.
Once the
Yes.
balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Apa yang pun berpikir keras.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it.
Ketemu.
This should be
Apa?
the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
Yuk. Cocok.
I
Bisa
authored
kok
this
iso.
record myself.
Gimana caranya?
Huh?
Ma?
You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
Alading?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul. That's incredible! What a great idea!
Gile, idenya
And
sangat out
sending
of the
the
box.
traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace
lagi
when another came to
cerita-cerita
live
nih.
among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree, who had been abandoned by the humans. The
Diabaikan
kitten
sama
too
manusia.
wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin."
Entet.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived.
Masih hidup. Wow.
It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different. We solved it!
Oke, selesai.
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the
Look, see,
question
and
still
comprehend.
troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again
Yeah.
later.
Berat nih topiknya. Makan dulu lah.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Ya, ayo kita jalan-jalan.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
There's a few things I'd like to look into. You should go take a walk and try to unwind.
Ya, sana cari angin, main dulu. Bermain dulu lah nak. Kita metu. Sampai tengah malam lah. Sampai tengah malam sampai muncul itu. Sampai muncul notifikasi ceritanya udah selesai. Reward lah, sampai reward story. Ya harus ke bahasa dulu. Referencing dong kok.
We're here! What should we eat first?
Lupa apa ya? Kayak inget dong Ateng.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Apa? Bentar.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Wawan. Mau bilang Wawan. Iya lu Wawan.
Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
Itu,
He's who?
si itu.
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something
halo
in
bro,
return
kenapa?
eventually. You don't want
Kenapa
money.
ya?
You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see
Saudara-saudara
you do is
sekalian,
wander around, taking in the
karena udah
sights.
setara.
Are you a drifter or something?
Kalau opini gua sih mungkin karena udah setara kali ya. Kan lu nggak kayak apa ya? Nggak kayak mahasiswa, nggak kayak siswa yang bahasanya masih peserta didik, murid-muridku sekalian yang terhormat, siswa-siswi. Mahasiswa tuh kan namanya juga mahal. Siswa yang mahal. Itu kalau kata dosen gue sih kayak gitu ya. Gue dulu dikasih ilmunya salah satunya itu. Kalau ditanya kenapa lebih sering memanggil saudara-saudara dibanding rekan-rekan sih biasanya. Kalau saudara-saudara ya itu tadi mungkin karena ilmu mahasiswa tuh udah banyak banget bro. Bahkan ada beberapa mahasiswa yang ilmunya di atas dosen. Karena ternyata yang terjadi adalah nggak kenal umur gua, bener kan? Jadi ada yang ini bilang tuh karena ya bahkan temen gua waktu itu aja ada yang udah, nih temen gue S2 sekarang ini ada yang bahasanya yang udah 40 plus plus, yang 50 juga ada, 1-2 orang. Ya karena mereka udah lebih, bahkan dosen sama mohon maaf ya, sama mahasiswa bisa ingin mahasiswanya
That's
loh.
right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetius, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Yuk,
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let
kita
him see you.
nguntit.
That was a good batch of Sincetias, too.
Fascinating story.
Ayo kita ikutin si Wawan. Nguntit.
Yeah, this'll do.
Mm-mm.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Hush,
Oh, alright.
diam.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back. Huh?
Wawan tobat.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us.
Ini semua
You've been
gagal
following me
lo.
all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Tahu
I
dong.
have no recollection.
Ya,
Are you
complicated.
absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
Ini.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
Ya, dia megang kepala lagi.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important. Okay, but please let me deliver these goods.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Ayo kita balik. Yuk. Apa nih? Belum ngantuk. Gua habis tidur tadi maghrib. Jadi nggak ngantuk. Kalau inget. Mana sih? Oke, sampai questnya. Sampai questnya dapat reward aja. Nanti kan batasnya gitu. Kalau questnya udah ada reward segini, atau tandanya udahan. Itu caranya, bro. Ya, kita balik ke sini.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
Wait.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
Jangan buang waktu sini.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right.
Ya, lo benar.
Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done.
Selesai.
Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Udah nih. Cepet bener tuh.
Welcome. Get your spices here. We've got all kinds.
Every item I sell here comes with its own
What's so great
fascinating
about
story.
Snezhnayan toys anyway?
Kejauhan.
Don't worry about me.
Surat sana. Yuk, kita lanjut lagi. Kalau kalian sekali pengen nikmatin cerita ya, nikmatin cerita kayak gini lama. Mau jam 12. Nah, kita ke Surasuna. Ketemu Nadia lagi.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello.
Halo.
I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
Apa? Yuk.
Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
Memang, tapi masalahnya kita juga bingung jelasin apa, Bro.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, You have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Ya harus gitu dong. Harus
I gave
gitu.
everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
Karma,
That is the
konsekuensi.
nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Nggak salah sih.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything! What a weird situation!
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone. It's time to get ready.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it. Whatever it takes. I'm just sorry that you have to join me for the whole thing.
Masuk nih. Enggak deh. Kayak nanti dulu aja. Masuknya nanti. Kalau masuk sekarang gue takutnya gue udah-udahan. Yang penting udah tahu quest saya itu bakal ke situ. Kalian siapa yang belum tahu? Sit Mas Ting Ting. Jangan pakai listrik.
This is long overdue. Grant us your blessing. Yield. Flee.
Hello. Untung gak gua lanjut tadi. Kan udah ada tanda-tanda. Bawah. Kita ke sana dulu.
Born of ice and frost.
Udah, di sini gue udah.
Do your work. Access denied.
Is this an answer from this world?
Tiba-tiba udahan tidak lucu. Itu artinya kita harus udahan. Oke, udahan. Sebenarnya masih nge-lag. Ya. Gue udah selesai. Makasih buat semuanya. And then see you next time. Bye dah. Si Wawan deket sama siapa ya?
Dendro Archon? Scream out to the gods and ask them why. Why did I have to go through so much pain? But for all I know, maybe the gods feel just as helpless about everything they have to endure as I did back then. I never thought there'd come a day where I get my own vision. In the past, I used to think that the gods only cared about people who were born popular. But I was in a bad place back then. Sorry.
Oke, and see you next time. Di yang beda. Makasih buat Nao udah mampir. Makasih buat tadi juga udah mampir sih itu. Kita juga jauh sih itu juga udah mampir. Makasih juga. Terima semua udah mampir. Dan semoga dengan ini jam tayang gue makin nambah ya. Semoga. And see you next time. Bye bye beda.
Are you ready to get some sleep?